All right, friends. So, Henry is in the ring walking his dog Ribsy across in front of the judges. So, they walked across, and initially Ribsy sat down and scratched his ear, and Henry pulled at the rope. When he reached the other side of the ring, he turned back, but Ribsy turned the wrong way so that he crossed in front of Henry. Henry tripped on the rope and started to change it to his right hand. But just then, Ribsy ran around behind Henry to growl at a dog that was mostly Cocker Spaniel. The boy who owned the Cocker Spaniel pulled him away and started to the other side of the ring. Ribsy ran in front of Henry and pulled at his rope to get closer to the other dog. The harder he pulled, the tighter the rope went around Henry's legs. The other kids started to laugh. Ribsy was so excited, he ran around behind Henry and pulled the rope even tighter. So if you can picture this, Ribsy keeps running around Henry and wrapping the long rope, right? Because he didn't have a true leash. He had made a leash out of a clothesline rope. And if you also remember, Ribsy is no longer a white dog with brown and black spots. He's a pink dog with brown and black spots. The kids laughed harder. "Hey, cut that out, Ribsy," Henry ordered, looking over his shoulder at his dog. He felt silly standing there wrapped up in a clothesline. "Come on, son," said the judge. "We can't waste time. We got a lot of other boys and girls who want to show their dogs too." Oh, now, on top of all his troubles, like a pink-spotted dog wrapped around his legs, the judge was angry with him. Henry knew an angry judge would never give him a silver trophy. Discouraged and feeling even sillier, Henry twirled around like a top to unwind himself from the rope. Relieved to have that part of the show over, he dragged Ribsy to the side of the ring. Whew. In a few minutes it would be over, and he could take his dog home and get him a drink of water. After each child had walked his dog, the judge went around the ring, pointing to different boys and girls, saying, "All right, you stay in the ring. All right, you stay in the ring." He looked at Henry and Ribsy. He said. "All right, you stay in." As the contestants left the ring, the Boy Scouts handed them prizes. Those who left first won the smallest prizes. The longer you stayed in the ring, the bigger the prize. "Hey, Henry, are you still in?" Henry looked up. Robert and Sassy were standing outside the rope. "Yes," answered Henry, "and I sure don't see why. Ribsy did everything wrong." "Did your dog Sassy win anything?" "Just a dog whistle." Robert took another look at Ribsy. "Hey, how'd Ribsy get all pink?" "Aw, mind your own business," said Henry. He pretended to be watching the judge carefully. One by one, the man asked the boys and girls to leave the ring. "Hey, look what I won!" Henry saw Beezus waving a rubber toy mouse. "See, it squeaks! Squeak, 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 squeak!" She squeaked it, and then she stopped. "Look!" she squealed. "Ribsy's pink!" "Ah, be quiet!" Henry looked up at the judge. He sure wished he knew why he was staying in the ring. Every time the judge passed him, he looked at Ribsy and said, "Stay in the ring." Mary Jane was the next one to see him. "See, I won a dog pillow for Patsy to sleep on," she said, and then looked at Ribsy. "Why, Henry Huggins, what did you do to your poor dog? He's all pink. Oh, my goodness. Just wait till your mother finds out about this." "Aw, you keep quiet," Henry said fiercely. Now there were only a few left in the ring. Scooter was last to arrive. "Hi, Henry," he said. "You and that old mutt still in the ring? The judge must be blind. I guess Rags is a pretty good dog, Just the best in his class is all. And now he has to go to another ring to compete for the best in the whole dog show. He held up a small silver trophy like the others. He looked at Ribsy. I must be seeing things. A pink dog! Scooter began to laugh. He sat down on the grass, laughing so hard he rolled back and forth. Henry didn't think Ribsy was that funny. By this time, Henry was so hot and disgusted that all he wanted to do was get out of the ring, go home, and get Ribsy some water out of his own private dog dish. Said the judge again. At last, only Henry and another boy were left. Henry remembered the other boy's dog had done everything correctly. The judge stepped to the center of the ring with the silver trophy in his hand. Henry wasn't at all surprised when the judge handed it to the other boy and his dog. He just wondered why he hadn't been asked to leave the ring. He thought he must have made a mistake. But the judge said to Henry and the winner, "Come on along to the main ring. There'll be some more judging there." Puzzled, Henry followed. Beezus and Ramona, Scooter, Mary Jane and Robert, and their dogs all followed Henry. Maybe Henry was going to get a prize after all. In the main ring were the prize winners from all the other rings. Henry noticed 2 big silver trophies on the table and saw his judge whispering to the other judges. They all looked at Ribsy. Ribsy panted harder than ever. The judges had the winners show their dogs in the ring again. This time Henry wasn't taking any chances with the clothesline getting twisted up around his legs. He wrapped it around his hand so there was only about a foot of rope between his hand and Ribsy's collar. But Ribsy did not behave any better the second time he was shown than he had the first. When Henry's turn came to lead him across the ring, Ribsy stopped to growl at a boxer. The boxer growled back. Henry heard Scooter say, "If that mutt doesn't look out, he's going to get all bit up." Ribs growled louder. The snarling boxer dog advanced, dragging the little girl who owned him along on the end of his leash. Henry tried to pull Ribsy away, but Ribsy ignored him. The dogs circled around one another, pulling their owners after them. Henry yanked so hard at Ribsy's collar, the dog choked. The boxer snarled and sprang at Ribsy, using his powerful front paws to knock over the smaller dog. Henry's hand was wound up in the rope and he couldn't let go. He got pulled down on his stomach with his face in the grass. "Look, Henry's in a dog fight!" screamed Beezus in great excitement. The boxer's owner began to cry. Henry was so confused he wasn't sure what was happening. He could smell the damp grass and felt it tickling his nose as he laid face first on his belly. He could hear the snarls, growls, and barks. He could hear kids screaming and yelling. The boxer dog stepped right on Henry's back, and Henry said, "Oof!" He lifted his face up from the grass in time to see a Boy Scout try and stop the fight by throwing a pan of water at the dogs. The water missed the dogs, but it didn't miss Henry. 2 judges ran into the ring and grabbed the dogs by their hind legs and yanked the snarling animals apart. "All right, son, go ahead," ordered one judge, while the other judge helped the little girl hold on to her boxer. Embarrassed and dripping wet, Henry got up from the grass and, without looking either left or right, hurried Ribsy across the ring and back. Finally, only Henry and another boy were left. The judge stepped into the center of the ring. The big trophy for the best dog in the whole dog show goes to the boy with the Irish setter. Everyone clapped when he handed the boy the big silver trophy. Ribsy growled at the winner. And now, said the judge, the trophy for the most unusual dog in the show goes to the boy with a mixed breed dog. He handed Henry the other large silver trophy. Gee, thanks, was all Henry could say. The audience clapped and he heard Beezus shout, Hooray for Henry! He thought Ribsy looked pleased. Everyone circled around him to admire his trophy until a newspaper photographer asked them to stand back while he took a picture of Henry and his dog and wrote down their name and address. Henry was going to have his picture in the newspaper. Congratulations, said Scooter, but I still think he's a mutt. Well, anyway, he won a trophy bigger than Rags, boasted Henry. But I guess your Rags is a pretty good dog, too. Good old Ribsy. Now we'll go get you that drink of water. He led Ribsy to the nearest water fountain and filled the cup at the top of the silver trophy with water and put it on the ground. Ribsy greedily lapped the water. Henry patted him on the head. Good old Ribsy. I knew you wouldn't drink out of any dish but your own. And that is the end of our chapter, The Pale Pink Dog. Our next chapter is called Finders Keepers, and we will do that later.